amend the city purchasing policy.
Madam Chair, just real quick on this, the mayor wanted me to talk to this when he had to go take care of something real quick. But all this is just, as you see on the attached document, we're just adding that last sentence to the section on page 6. And this was a recommended wording from our attorney regarding the upcoming council agenda items 8 and 9 about the extension. They felt that adding this verbiage would act concurrently with these extensions. And like I said, my review as the purchasing department, director or whatever, I mean, I don't have an issue with that wording. So,
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just, looking at the wording of, no portion of this document shall restrain the city of Taylor from acting in a manner that would achieve the greatest economic benefit for the city of Taylor.
Or other benefits.
Right, or other benefits. It sounds good. I mean, of course, coming in and looking at the greatest benefit for the city of Taylor. But I guess my reservation for this is, does this allow the city to suspend the purchasing policy as long as it's believed or deemed greatest economic benefit to the city of Taylor? The purchasing policy is in place for a reason, and I'm not sure. I guess that's my interpretation if I'm reading it correctly for the purpose of that policy. So I'm not sure kind of how this is being interpreted by the administration.
would you have Councilman, would you have an example? Can you give me an example? I think I see where you're going.
It kind of sounds
I
like
guess
if you think somebody's doing a good job, they can just say, okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and keep using you.
That wasn't
Or it could
well.
totally bypass the bid process.
No.
That wasn't my
No,
interpretation.
you can't. That's based on city charter. City charter has the bid process, purchasing process. This purchasing policy was only put in place so we could obtain some federal dollars. It said you had to have a purchasing policy, so we put that in place. The document says that this document does not trump or not override the city charter and any other documents that the city has in place with respect to purchasing. No bid, purchasing limits, city council approval of all contracts over X. Okay, that has to happen. That's part of our city charter.
Okay, so why would we need this in here for the contract extensions? Why would we
You
need
can
that?
just ask us for an extension, correct?
Don't really need it. We were just putting a language in there so it gives the city, a rationale for wanting to do certain
I
things.
think this is something, and when we're looking at 8 and 9, I have no problem with them. I just have issue with this language. And like I said, I understand the intentions of it, but I mean, going forward, I think we can look at these on the case-to-case basis, 8 and 9. But right now, like I said, I understand where you're coming from and what the intention of the language was. But like I said, I think on the individual basis, we can look at those coming forward.
Why did you think it was necessary?
You know what, we were just trying to create a more robust policy that has, the policy in itself is just like that, is a policy. It's nothing that is, it's recommendations. The city charter is set in stone. That is set in stone. This is just a policy that we wanted to have, so when we have to deal with federal government, and they say, what's your purchasing policy? Well, we send them the charter, and they go, well, no, we need your purchasing policy. So we created this document for that purpose.
If I could interject, when we created the document, we sent it to all the department heads to vet it, and everyone looked at it and provided some feedback. We anticipate that this will go through a series of revisions as we reach certain plateaus. We expect that we'll have to go through a revision periodically, and sometimes there may be bigger, more complex revisions as the times change. But when we were racing the deadline, it was really to meet the federal requirements to prove that we had a procurement policy at hand. But we knew that it was going to have to go through some tweaks.
Do you think it's necessary that number 7 be approved for us to approve 8 and 9?
It has anything to do with it, personally.
I don't believe that's for us. I don't know.
It doesn't really have anything to do with 8 and 9, it's just that we were asked to look at it, and this was a recommendation.
Okay.
Yeah, the number, I mean, they have nothing to do with one another, but I don't know if that impacts anything, but, you know,
Well, the reason I asked was because I think Richard told Michelle that this had to go in front of 8 and 9.
oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, me and Brenda, because
Oh.
it seemed like 8 and 9 hinged on the approval of this.
No.
Okay,
No, yeah, I'm not aware of that either, so.
okay. Maybe that's just something Richard. Okay, that brings us to number 8, the extension of the contract with Clearwater Enterprises at the 2014 rates, is that correct?
Madam Chair, yeah, I think you guys should have for both 8 and 9, both pricing, material pricing from both Osborne Concrete, McCoy Materials on the concrete, and then Cadillac Asphalt and Ajax Paving on the paving or the asphalt. Both have gone through 2 years of increases. The concrete is $22 and $20 per square yard respectively, and then the asphalt is $8 and $7 per square yard respectively. And so both suppliers have agreed to maintain their original proposed price from 2014.
So, Madam Chair, I have just a couple of questions. So this will be for another 1-year period? for
That is
both
correct.
these, And then we'll look at them in 2017?
That is correct. So both have offered extensions beyond next, or 1 year, but both have said the same thing, that it would require annual approval by both the city of Taylor and each firm separately.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
yeah, so next year, if the same thing is proven, that the concrete and asphalt prices have gone up, then we would recommend an extension. If not, then we would go out and rebid it.
But the money, didn't we just approve money for both of these companies? That's for
Projects.
projects,
Yeah.
okay, but that would cover under this time frame.
Correct. These are just item prices, line item prices. So, like, there's going to be another item under open business for another section of Holland Road. And that, there would also have to be a budget amendment to cover the cost allocation of it. And then there's also going to be some, in the upcoming budget year, there's quite a few projects for both concrete and asphalt. And then we're going to also be looking at some overbanding projects, where that is the joints, you know, sealing, if you will, of the concrete and the asphalt. You know, there's some serious concerns with the life of Goddard Road and Hardy Road. So, you know, just not to get off topic, but, yeah. What is it, I'm sorry?
Monroe between Van Born and of course.
Oh, yeah. Okay, ready to move on to 10. This is the new city fee schedule.
I got a question.
Oh, Madam Chair, that just needs to be removed. Or postponed until next meeting. We tried to pull it off the agenda. I think it got added back on. We're going to, we've done some benchmarking with other communities, and there's a few sections that we want to look at again that are not ready to be submitted yet.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about this?
Anyway,
So, yeah, anyways, so supposedly a few weeks ago, I'm not exactly sure, I got quite a few calls from people getting noted that the compost with compost material, and they upped the fee to $15. And quite a few people paid it, and I got phone calls going, I thought it was 10, I thought it was 10.
I'm not sure that, Glenn, are you aware of that? I'm not.
I heard some rumblings about it. I think there was a misinterpretation on the ruling. Residents can come to the compost site with their own containers and shovel and take their own material for free. And then if they bring a truck or a pickup, there's a $10 loading fee, the way I understand it.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know.
They were charging 15.
I don't know the specifics on that.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, well, I got quite a few of them, I'm waiting for tonight to find out, you know, we want our $5 back.
But if they have a receipt, I mean, they would have been improperly charged.
So when they do that, Glenn, where does the $10 go in our till?
It's credit card purchase.
Okay.
No cash taken.
Right.
So if you know them, Councilman, I would ask them to get in touch with Glenn or the
Yeah, we'll
foreman.
look into it. I'd be happy to look into it.
Yeah, but I've never heard that before. It should be, now I will tell you that that's one of the areas we're obviously going to be looking at is the compost. But it can't go up till you guys approve it.
Now, have you guys, I know we talked about this before, before, you guys reach out to the departments and see, have them look through it and, okay.
I don't know, Jason, how long did each department head have? Month or so? Or?
Yeah, it's typically a month. I mean, this process was started a long time ago. And, some departments wait to the very end, some departments get it done right away. It just, and then, like I said, the reason for postponement because there is some critiques that the administration wants to do, so.
And there again, I talked to Jamie 3 months ago about a certain fee, and I don't see it in there, so I don't know if she's,
I'm sure those were one of the ones that were waiting on it for, so.
Building department is one that we want to go through a real good scrubbing of. I think there's some rates that are really low.
yeah, well, for instance, Dearborn, I go register my license there, they charge me $1, state says they can charge between $1 and 15. And I brought this up before, but they go, you gotta register your company, so they charge me $35 for that. You know, where here, I just come and register my license for $15. So-
Can you forward that to me in an email?
Yeah.
Okay, just because my memory's not what it once was.
Really?